Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are embarking on a really fascinating journey across India, and we're using a rather unconventional map to do it, a single name. Have you ever considered how exploring just one word could actually reveal the macro-level, physical, political, and digital evolution of an entire nation? Well, we're going to look closely at the name Manoharpur as a sort of microcosm to understand the incredibly dynamic shifts happening all across India today.
Okay, let's dive right into this. What on earth could possibly connect a cutting-edge, barrier-free toll plaza, a newly elected MLA in Jharkhand, an everyday railway station, and the internet habits of rural youth? I mean, at first glance, these seem completely unrelated, right? But they all share the exact same name, Manoharpur. We're going to use these totally distinct locations scattered across the country to decode a much larger story about infrastructure, local realities, and digital transformation.
So, here is the incredible geographic coincidence we'll be exploring. We have an assembly constituency in Jharkhand for political shifts, a toll plaza on a national highway featuring new tech, a railway station in West Singhbhum anchoring transport, and finally, two villages, one in West Bengal and one in Jaipur, highlighting demographics and social media. Let's get started.
Section 1. Political shifts in Jharkhand.
Let's kick things off by heading into the realm of local governance and political representation with our very first Manoharpur. This is an ST reserved assembly constituency in West Singhbhum, 73,034. That highly significant number represents the exact votes polled by Jagat Maji of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha to secure his victory in the 2024 assembly election for this constituency.
Now, what's absolutely fascinating here is the deeper context behind that victory. Maji actually defeated his nearest rival from the All Jharkhand Students' Union by a massive margin of nearly 32,000 votes. But this isn't just an isolated data point, it's deeply tied to regional political lineage. You see, he's the son of the late Devendra Maji, who was a well-known leader of Singhbhum's Jungle Andolan. Furthermore, his mother, Joba Maji, has been a 5-time MLA and a member of parliament from the Singhbhum Lok Sabha constituency. When we zoom out and look at the historical electoral data for Manoharpur since Jharkhand became a separate state, the JMM has been the most successful party here, winning 60% of the elections. It perfectly illustrates how historical lineage and established party footholds really shape regional political realities.
Section 2. The physical environment.
From the political landscape, let's shift our focus a bit to the infrastructure that actually moves people and resources through this exact same region. Manoharpur railway station is a really vital transport hub situated within the Chakradarpur railway division. It serves as a physical anchor for the local population. And speaking of Chakradarpur, it's definitely worth noting that local administration in this division has recently been pushing directives to ensure quality education arrangements in the area. This really highlights an ongoing effort to improve civic foundations right alongside this physical infrastructure.
But, physical infrastructure never just exists in a vacuum. It always intersects with the natural environment and local economic realities. Just recently, on a passenger train running through this region, authorities seized 60 bundles of firewood that had been gathered from the Saranda forest area. It's a brief but incredibly telling detail. It reminds us that while we often talk about grand infrastructure projects, at ground level, these transit routes are completely intertwined with the immediate environment and how local populations utilize natural resources.
Section 3. The barrier-free highway revolution.
Let's pivot and see how this builds. Leaving the railways of Jharkhand, we are traveling to another Manoharpur entirely, one of India's first 6 toll plazas testing completely barrierless travel. To understand exactly why this massive change is happening, just look at the throughput data. Under the old manual toll collection, a lane could process about 112 vehicles per hour. But with electronic toll collection, that number literally more than doubles to over 260 vehicles per hour. That is a game-changing difference in efficiency, significantly reducing bottlenecks and saving time for millions of commuters.
And the technology making this leap possible is called multi-lane free flow, or MLFF. It's a barrierless system where vehicles literally don't even have to stop. It is powered by RFID, or radio frequency identification technology, operating right through the FASTag system. Whether it's a passive tag or actually an active tag that pings information, the system communicates entirely wirelessly with scanners at the toll plaza. Thanks to this tech, the processing speed to cross a toll plaza is down to just about 47 seconds per vehicle.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how deeply integrated India's digital infrastructure has become behind the scenes. For people living near these plazas, it's incredibly seamless. A commuter just applies through the Rajmarg Yatra app, the system then automatically talks to DigiLocker and the Vahan database. It retrieves their address, verifies that they actually live within a 20-kilometer radius of the plaza, checks the vehicle details, and boom! It automatically issues a digital pass tied directly to their FASTag. Manual documentation and physical checks have been entirely eliminated for these local residents.
The scale of this digital adoption is just staggering. As of March 2024, more than 98% of highway user fee payments in India are made via FASTag. Think about that number. 98%. Almost the entirety of highway tolling across a massive subcontinent has transitioned to a unified digital payment system. It sets the stage perfectly for these new barrierless MLFF plazas, like the one at Manoharpur.
Section 4. Rural Realities and Digital Shifts.
From digitally connected highways, let's explore how demographics and connectivity actually shape rural identity across different states. First up, a snapshot of Manoharpur, a village in the Hooghly district of West Bengal. According to the 2011 census, this village had a population of 20,825. What really stands out here, though, is its educational foundation. The literacy rate was 72%, with male literacy at 75% and female at 69%. That 72% was notably higher than the national average of 59.5% at the time. It gives us a really solid picture of a rural community with a strong baseline of education.
So the crucial point is how communities exactly like these are interacting with the modern world today. Our final Manoharpur is a village located in Jaipur, Rajasthan. It was featured in a 2023 sociological study on the psychological impact of social media on rural youth, and it perfectly bridges our themes. It proves that rural youth, living in very traditional village settings, are actively navigating and being deeply impacted by global digital networks, much like the commuters seamlessly navigating those digital toll plazas.
And that brings us to our final thought for today. We've traveled from the political lineage of a Jharkhand constituency to the physical constraints of railway transit, through the seamless digital efficiency of highway tolling, and finally to the digital habits of rural youth, all connected by the name Manoharpur. So, I leave you with this question to ponder. As physical infrastructure becomes completely barrier-free, and as digital networks reach the absolute deepest parts of the countryside, how will this ongoing intersection redefine the very identity of rural India in the coming decade? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it provided a unique and structured lens through which to view these complex, fascinating shifts. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.